I'm really convinced the most powerful thing, what you need is a dream, a clear intention. When you have a clear intention, everything what you want to do will happen because you have this drive, this clarity. What we are doing is creation, therefore it's art. It's a beautiful art. And this is often also when you are creating with nature, then you say, hey, you're a fucking farmer. But when you say, no, I'm an artist, I have kind of a canvas, and this canvas has kind of certain conditioning, has certain colors, certain texture, but you can now bring your own colors to the canvas. Perhaps it's not an empty canvas, because there are already some conditions here, you know, so you have to deal with it. But it's also very exciting to deal with a not completely empty canvas and add your colors. And the beautiful thing is the picture is never finished. It's always transforming. That's why I want to say what we are doing is not so much regeneration or regenerative agriculture, but it's transformative creation. I love that, because regeneration means we take what it once was, generate backwards. So we know sometimes, many years ago, here it was very beautiful. We had so much abundance. And we should bring all the species in again that was once there. But this doesn't work, because this once is gone. We have other conditions. Some species wouldn't work, although they're indigenous, you know. We have another climate, we have another water cycle, everything changed. So we need to work with what is here. And when we work with what is here, and we cycling everything back to the soil, to the Mother Earth, then we transform the creation we co-created. When I was 20, I turned to be an actor and studied acting. Yeah, this went on until mainly 2015, so like 10 years ago. I was playing at that time the Misanthrope. This is a character which was really not in alignment with our culture, which saw the lies, the manipulation, everything which is not really aligned to the truth. And he was the hater of humanity. And my friend at that time, I mean my friend in the play at that time, he was more moderate. He was more saying you need to be also sometimes a little bit more opportunistic. You need to understand the system and also the benefits of it. And I was a radical one. At the end of the play, he became more radical and he said, hey, you're right. We need to do something else. We need to show people that this system we're living in, this economical system, is really creating a lot of damage because it tries to maximize profits. This is the only goal. And this, of course, leads to exploitation. And we need to reveal in a very entertaining play that this works like this since millennia already. But when you make a play like this, but you are a part of it, you are a part of this being perhaps successful with a play, and with that playing the game, although you are having another point of view, doesn't make sense. So the only way out of it is really to trust again nature and listen to the teaching of nature and what nature can tell me, kind of reading in the book of nature. And so, of course, I needed then to go away from the city, because the city is the place where nature is kind of abandoned. We need to go there where nature is in abundance. The thing is, when I began, many people, they questioned, why are you leaving this wonderful life? I mean, I was now not a highly successful actor, but I always had work and I played really wonderful plays. I don't want to miss these times, and it was so beautiful. But for me, it was clear. Theater cannot give all the answers to the problems we have. And this is also wonderfully portrayed in the play Hamlet. Hamlet wants to reveal corruption in the system with the theater, but nobody understands it. So for me, to really work with nature is kind of the solution, is kind of the way out in order to have a new way in. So thinking out of the box means you see something else than a box, but you're still somewhere, you know? So the thing is, when you're just going out of the box, that's exactly also what I meant once off-grid, you know, talking off-grid. Is, yeah, when you're going off-grid, you go in another grid. But the question is, what grid you want to go? And that's a really important question. And the new grid is the network of life. The network of life which we once called paradise. And this paradise was all around us, and we destroyed it. We really destroyed it. And we need to take the responsibility. And we cannot say, yeah, humans are bad guys. It's not about that humans are the bad guys, but we have a very questionable culture. But that's not all what a human is made of. This is just a culture. And this culture repeated itself over from generation to generation. But we have all the time the chance to change, because the laws of nature, they are working. They're working wonderfully. Everything is aligned. Nothing is in crisis here. Nothing. As soon as you are understanding the laws of nature and you're humble and you're co-creating with it, life comes back almost immediately. And this is wonderful. This is inspiring. And this is also where I have the feeling creation begins. It's then not so much working. I mean, I love kind of also the terminology working, but I think creation is even deeper than work. You know, sometimes it's also work, but the essence, what we are doing is creating. In acting, what I love the most is Shakespeare. Yeah, Shakespeare is really a guy, I mean, Hamlet, the speech to the actors, how you should act, is very inspiring. And one line is, you should take nature as your mirror in order to act. And this was already all the time inspiring. And to see that the most inspiring thing we have in our environment is nature, is something which is then again close towards acting. In acting, you stand on those stages, and now my stage is a little bit softer. It has beautiful soil. So that's my stage now. My audience now is more or less the trees, the plants. This is the interaction. And before, it was kind of the feedback I got before from the audience, I get now from nature itself. So I could, in the acting, see, does it work or not, when the audience was kind of awake after 90 minutes and not fall asleep. And here I see the success of my work if what I'm doing gives me a positive feedback. Everything is lush, everything is green. So that's the parallel. And from acting, I saw at one point, I cannot go on in this world where we have so much chaos and so much war, so much insecurity, so much problems, conflicts. I cannot go on and be an entertainer. And I cannot go on with a theater play to say you should change while I am in the system. So I asked myself, what would be an accurate way to deal with this challenging situation? And in the beginning, I went on the way from permaculture. And now I'm very much inspired by syntropic agriculture. Syntropic agriculture is not so much a manual, it's more a philosophy. It's an approach towards nature, or a way how to approach nature, how to interact with nature. And one of the key elements is that you are seeing yourself not as the most important thing in nature, like the crown of creation, but one element. You are not the center, but you are kind of like swimming in this prosperity and these infinite possibilities around you. And I think culturally, many problems we have, they come originally from the fact that we were at one point not anymore in service for nature. We were kind of saying we are the kings and the servant is nature itself. So it is not this kind of brotherly relationship. And from that on, I think we created a lot of problems because we wanted to dominate, which cannot be dominated. Because we cannot put the laws upon nature, but we need to accept the laws from nature. And we need to be, therefore, a little bit humble. And I think this is very much missing in this world everywhere, this humbleness. And of course, I feel it also in me. Sometimes I'm not humble. You know, I don't want to be the great guy. Because I have, of course, also this socialization, which is very questionable. Many people are really extremely in their mind, and what I often say is, I don't mind. Mindfulness is rather have an empty mind and a full heart. Act from your heart. You cannot act from your mind, really, you know, but you can act from your heart, then it's meaningful. And what I do is I really want to honor the most basic thing which we have here. It's the soil. And everything I do is in the service of the soil, with a mindset that giving is more important than taking. And we are big takers. We are having a culture of taking. But what we need to heal the world is a giving culture, an unconditional giving culture. And what is unconditional giving other than unconditional love?